안녕하세요. Riding on the Korean wave. Welcome to Tuesday's edition of The Culture Wave. I'm Gwanghwamun in Seoul. Explore with us Korea's culture from all aspects and stay up to date with K-entertainment, K-exhibitions, K-food, K-everything. And we'll do all of that together with our co-host Walter Lee joining me in the studio. Hello, Walter.
Hello, so as always, and hello everyone at home. I'm Walter Lee. I have the latest and K-Enter news just for you.
Walter, I've got a question for you. When you think of American food, what comes up to your mind first?
Well, apart from their supersized portions, I guess I'll have to say American-style foods. Now, when I say American-style foods, I think like New York pizza, I think of Texas barbecue, I think of like LA-style, whatever. Those are the kinds of foods that I think of.
You're making me hungry here. But Walter, there is another question I have for you. What do you think when you ask an American about Korean food, what do you think comes up to their mind?
I'm sure it has to be things like bibimbap, or it has to be kimchi, or maybe even K-barbecue, or what else? Like, there's so many things. Korean-style fried chicken. Those are the words I think of when they usually answer me.
Probably. And I think it's very amazing that now people can think of those Korean foods, that we have a list of K-foods that are popular around the world.
So many.
And we're actually going to talk about the latest K-food trends in the US later in our program. But first, it's a Walter time. We're going to talk about the latest K-entertainment news with you. And the first story is about a girl group that we talked about in our segment yesterday with Jeff Benjamin, our K-pop expert.
Yes.
It's a girl group, but a girl group that's putting less emphasis on the girl in their group. It's I-dle, or former G-I-dle.
That's correct, yes. So while with each album cycle, it's not uncommon for K-pop groups to, take things up, change things a little different, but with our I-dle, or formerly known as G-I-dle, Yeoja I-dle, or Girl I-dle, I guess that was their previous name. On Monday, a press conference was held at Joseon Palace, Seoul, Gangnam, to celebrate the release of girl groups I-dle's 8th mini album, We Are. Now, not everything has changed though, with I-dle signaling a fresh start following the full renewal of their contracts with Cube Entertainment, but with a new mindset, let's say. Now, We Are includes 6 tracks such as the title song, Good Thing, the pre-released Girlfriend, Uki's self-composed track, Love Tease, and the ballad If You Want, 그래도 돼요, with lyrics written by Shuhwa. Now, that something I'm looking very forward to, and I can't wait to see what it's like without the G.
Well, I think I'm already getting used to I-dle. It's actually even more easy to pronounce.
Yes, I-dle, yes.
Right, so good luck to their new chapter, and we're going to move on to K-musicals.
Yes, we also briefly touched upon it recently as well. The Korean musical Maybe Happy Ending, which made its way to Broadway, won 4 awards at this year's Outer Critics Circle Awards. Now, Maybe Happy Ending took home honors for Outstanding New Broadway Musical, Outstanding Book of a Musical, Outstanding Score, and director Michael Arden was awarded Outstanding Direction of a Musical. Now, the Outer Critics Circle is an organization of writers who review New York theater productions. Now, Maybe Happy Ending is an original musical set in the future, telling the story of Oliver and Claire, robots created to assist humans who unexpectedly fall in love. Now, after its premiere in Korea in 2016, the musical made its way to Broadway and officially opened at the Belasco Theatre in November of last year. Now, the production has also been nominated in 10 categories for next month's Tony Awards, which is one of the biggest award ceremonies for musicals.
Outstanding indeed. Can't wait to see how far this musical will reach.
Yes.
Now, Walter, lastly, taking music from the stage to the screen, what do you have?
Yes, I don't really hear too many sort of musicals coming from Korean movies, but I have a new movie for watchers of music and romance. It's called Midnight Sun, and it is a musical romance that follows the story of Miso, played by Chung Si-soo, and Min-jun, played by Cha Hak-yeon, now who can only go on dates in the middle of the night. And that's quite interesting. As they fall in love through the music, they also embark on a journey to pursue their dreams together. Now, Cha Hak-yeon makes his big screen debut with Midnight Sun. He has previously worked on television dramas before, but is also well known for debuting as a member of the boy band VIX back in May 2012, and usually goes by the stage name N as well. Now, Cha Hak-yeon shared, "When I first read the script, it felt like I was being gifted a piece of youth. It's a film beautifully filled with warmth and refreshing romance, expressing his deep affection for the project and why he chose to join it." Now, for anyone who was willing to watch it or wanting to watch it, Midnight Sun is set to premiere on June 11th.
That's going to include me. Well, thank you very much, Walter, for those updates, and stick around.
Will do.
And now let's move on to our AI anchor, Ari, for other culture-related news. Ari, take it away.
Hello and welcome to your AI guide to the latest cultural updates from Korea. Here's our top story. We had a loving relationship for 36 years, and then suddenly got married. That's how renowned conductor Chung Myung-won explained his historic appointment as music director of Teatro alla Scala in Milan, Italy. Chung is the first Asian to take on the role at the famed opera house, with his term set to run from 2027 to 2030, saying that La Scala has been his closest friend for decades. Chung emphasized that he will do everything he can to support its musicians. When asked about the theater's future artistic direction, he hinted it will feature quite a few works by Verdi, his favorite opera composer. Chung will make his official debut as La Scala's music director on December 7th, next year. Lee Myun-chan's live recording album from the final round of the Van Cliburn International Piano Competition has achieved gold certification upon release. According to Universal Music, the album, Rachmaninoff, Piano Concerto No. 3, sold over 5,000 copies on the day of release, qualifying for gold status. Under Korea's music industry standards, classical albums are certified gold at 5,000 copies sold, and platinum at 10,000. Tottenham Hotspur, led by captain Son Heung-min, has been confirmed as the first team invited to the 2025 Kupang Play Series. The English Premier League club returns to Korea to showcase another exciting match for local fans. After taking part in last year's series, hosted, organized, and broadcast by Kupang Play, the series is a pre-season football event featuring top European clubs. Executive Director of Tottenham Hotspur Donna Maria Cullen said Korea holds a very special place for Tottenham, and the team looks forward to continuing its tour tradition by connecting with passionate fans, engaging in charity activities, and experiencing the local culture. That's all from me. Stay tuned to the Culture Wave.
Australian artist Ron Mueck presents his first major solo exhibition in Korea. The contemporary sculptor is famous for his hyper-realistic human sculptures. Since its opening on April 11th, more than 150,000 people have already visited the exhibition, setting a new record for the National Museum of Modern and Contemporary Art in Seoul. Ian Jin has the story.
The sculpture of a man's sleeping face rests on the floor. Each strand of hair and wrinkle seem all too real, but the back of it is hollow, like a mask. The young couple seem to be clinging to each other, but why they have such uncomfortable expressions is hidden behind in the boy's tight grip. These are the works of sculptor Ron Mueck, born in Melbourne, Australia in 1985 and based in the United Kingdom since 1986. Even more amazing than the delicate technique of his sculpting is the emotion that is conveyed through each piece, as it draws curiosity and throws visitors into deeper thought.
It goes beyond. It looks real. Emotion, and presence are expressed more real than reality, manifesting the most fundamental human emotions about death, loneliness, and anxiety. His works are also called psychological portraits.
Each sculpture embodying Muick's extreme technical skills and sophisticated artistic expression takes anywhere from several months to many years to complete. The 48-piece collection displayed at this exhibition is the largest gathering of Muick's works in Asia to date. But the gathering of the sculptures shaped across 3 decades means visitors will have the chance to experience his sculptural journey. One can imagine the work that went into installing the 100 monumental skulls of Muick's project titled Mass. But its journey across the sea was also not easy.
The sculptures were fit into 100 crates. Upon arrival at Busan port, they went through various security screenings and were then transported to our museum. It was a long journey.
Visitors can feel the intimate yet uncomfortable confrontation of an old man and a chicken across the table. There's also an exhausted woman overwhelmed with her ongoing efforts to survive urban contemporary life. Beyond just showcasing his sculptures, the exhibition also intends to present an overview of Muick's artistic journey, as he has led the evolution and trend of contemporary sculpture. The Ron Muick Exhibition will be held at the National Museum of Modern and Contemporary Art until July 13th. 이은진, Arirang News.
Bibimbap, bulgogi, fried chicken. Which K-food comes to mind first? Today, we want to talk about the latest K-food trend in the U.S., as well as a product that's been enjoying a surge in exports to the country. For that, we are now connected with Robert Koo, Managing Editor of Foundations and Futures Asian, American and Pacific Islander Multimedia Textbook, which is a major book project at the UCLA Asian American Studies Center. Hello, Mr. Koo.
Hello, Mr. Koo.
Hello, it's good to be back.
Great to have you back on the show. So let's talk about K-food in the U.S. Now, K-food exports to the U.S. last year amounted to $1.59 billion, making the U.S. the top export destination for Korean food items. Mr. Koo, do you feel this rising interest around you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, the fact that I live in LA, in California, makes this especially apparent because LA Koreatown is widely acknowledged as the so-called mothership of the Korean diaspora. So whatever happens Korea-wide in the States usually happens first here in LA. Now, while other cities and towns across the U.S. haven't experienced the increased visibility of Korean food on the level of California, the overall rise in K-food popularity across the country has been quite remarkable indeed. I just found a recent study that it showed that along with Mexican food restaurants, Korean restaurants are now the most competitive food business in the state of California. As you know, California is the fourth largest economy in the world. And so this is very significant. Since 2018, it's estimated that nearly 500 new Korean restaurants have opened in the US. And the number of Korean restaurants nationwide has increased by 10% just this past year alone. In the big cities like LA, San Francisco, New York, there was a 36% increase. And interestingly, there's currently about 400 Korean fried chicken establishments across the country, which is a 22% increase just this year alone. More interestingly, there are at least 5 different chains that specialize in Korean corn dogs. And currently there's about 250 locations across the country, which is a 52% increase from last year. In 2019, there were no Korean corn dog restaurants in the US, so this is all very new. So these are some, I think, indications of the rising popularity of newer Korean foods.
Wow, very impressive and very impressive figures we're seeing here. Now we're going to look a little bit at a specific item. By item, Korea's instant noodles or ramyeon is the #1 K-food export to the US right now. Why do you think we're seeing this trend? I mean, what's unique about Korea's instant noodles ramyeon?
Yeah, although I don't think this is a new trend. I think Korean ramen has been popular in the US for a long time. Nongshim's Shin Ramen has been incredibly popular in the US for the past several years. I believe Shin Black is one of the most popular here in the States. Although it costs about 6 times more than a Japanese brand such as Nissin, consumers are willing to pay more for what they consider to be higher quality Korean brands of instant ramen. And the main difference between, I think, Korean and Japanese ramen is that while Japanese ramen main selling point is umami, or that fifth taste. For Koreans, I think it's spiciness, which is why buldak has soared in popularity and has overtaken Shin as the bestseller in the US, or at least that's what I read somewhere. Sales of buldak in the US increased by more than 125% from 2023 to 2024 alone. In fact, due to buldak's recent global popularity, other Korean brands, such as Nongshim and Otogi, have introduced spicier versions of their brands to try to compete with buldak, which, as you know, is marketed by Samyang Foods, which coincidentally was the very first Korean company to have marketed instant ramen back in 1961.
Wow. So what are some of other rising, let's call them K-food stars in the US right now? I mean, we've got Korean syrups or chong, or we've got K-sauces, soy sauce, eggs. A very popular rapper by the name of Cardi B, she made her own marinated soy sauce eggs, pork belly or samgyeopsal, or even some of my favorites, gukbap. What are some of the rising stars or the K-food stars there in the US at the moment?
Yeah, certainly all those things you mentioned are rising in popularity. For me, one category of Korean food in Korea rises to the top in terms of its being suddenly popular in ways that I didn't imagine. And these are Korean cafes, bakeries, and dessert places. Things like cold brew coffee, dalgona coffees, patbingsu, hot dog. These are now very much, common in the US. And not only because of Paris Baguette or Paris Baguette, which seems to have a new location open every day, but also smaller independent shops. Just last month, one of South Korea's most popular dessert Cafe Nodded, I've never been, but I'm looking forward to going to that, opened in LA. Not in Koreatown, but in Century City, which is a high-end shopping mall. Other Korean chains that specialize in coffees and desserts to open in LA recently are Damo Tea House, Haru Cake, Series A Coffee, Camel Coffee, and this is now a rising trend. Additionally, I think alcohol is another area that has shown significant rise in popularity. certainly soju is way up there. But makgeolli, I think, is making an incredible, it's making soju run for its money because makgeolli is something that I think a lot of people consider to be smaller scale. You can make it at home. You can enjoy different, it's almost like wine for many people.
Right.
Also, non-alcoholic beverage drinks as well, banana milk, barley tea. And lastly, I would say really high-end, like Michelin star restaurants are on the rise. And this coincides with, of course, Netflix's culinary class wars. In New York, you have a number of these restaurants, Atomic, Chungshik, etc. In LA, recently you had Yangban and Baru. In DC, you have a place called Anju. I can go on and on. And so these are some of the, I think, other areas of Korean food that I think is on the rise here in the US.
So it's really interesting to see it's not just the K-food dishes now, but we have like desserts and alcoholic beverages as well, seeing that popularity rise. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about dictionaries now, because we have these Korean words in dictionaries, Korean foods like kimbap, jjigae, tteokbokki, and quite recently even dalgona, because of Squid Game, has been added to Oxford Dictionary. So, Mr. Koo, which Korean food items do you think really deserve to be in English or global dictionaries?
Yeah, I think bibimbap should be in there. And I wouldn't be surprised to see it pop up sometime soon. I think mandu can certainly be in there because it's very widely understood to be a Korean form of dumplings. Naengmyeon, I think it's on the rise as well. And certainly jjajangmyeon. I was born in Incheon, so jjajangmyeon is always close to my heart. So I would say jjajangmyeon should be there, along with gochujang, soju, makgeolli. I think these are things that are inevitable in terms of one day appearing in the Oxford English Dictionary, just like mukbang did in 2021, which is surprising. But if you remember, just 5 years ago, mukbang was the biggest thing that's Korean associated that became so popular here in the States and elsewhere.
So many words are being added these days, Korean words in Oxford Dictionary and other dictionaries. It's almost hard to keep track how many Korean words we're seeing appearing these days. It's very impressive, I have to say.
It is very impressive. And I mean, that means it's only getting more and more and more popular as we go through the years. So that brings me to my next question. Which K-food do you believe could become the next big hit in the US, do you think?
What's left? I don't know what's left, because I think everything that is already popular among Koreans is already well known here. And that's because of the power of the Korean wave of Hallyu. I would say that K-culture in general will determine where the new interest in Korean food goes. Because it's impossible to talk about the past, present, and future of K-food in the US or elsewhere without first understanding what's happening in K-pop, K-dramas, K-film, K-fashion, and so forth. Also, I think social media platforms, especially TikTok and Instagram, which I think reaches more people today, or young people at least, than traditional media when it comes to food and other cultural trends. And so I would say that let's wait and see. But what's left? I don't know what's left.
Well, Mr. Koo, as a culture expert, we also want to ask you, could you share some advice for our global viewers of how, in the best way, you can enjoy K-food? Any recommendations?
Well, I'm not sure such advice is actually needed, since it seems like plenty of people around the world are already discovering how amazing Korean food is. But for those who are new to K-food, I would recommend that they ride the Korean wave and watch K-dramas, such as the newly airing Tastefully Yours on Netflix. Of course, there was the Culinary Class Wars, also on Netflix. And there's so many other programs, Korean programs, a lot of them focus on foods that will give everyone plenty of ideas of how to enjoy Korean food. And also, since Baek Jung-won is sort of canceled for the moment, I would recommend people watch my favorite celebrity food star in Korea right now is Roo Soo-young, and also my favorite mukbang star, Soo-young. So I would recommend people watch Roo Soo-young and Soo-young for ideas about what great Korean food they can try next.
All right, that shows again how important it is to watch K-contents to really know the real, authentic way how Koreans enjoy Korean food.
That's right.
Well, thank you very much for connecting with us today, Mr. Gu, and also for the great advice as well. And I think it's fascinating to see how the American palate is being satisfied with such a wide range of K-food these days. Thank you again.
Thank you, Mr. Koo.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And thank you, Walter, and we're going to see you back here soon.
We'll see you very soon.
Thank you for spending the past half an hour with us on the Culture Wave. Please join us again tomorrow on Wednesday at 2 p.m. Korea time and maybe one day here in Korea.